2. So, okay, you're using ChatGPT almost on a daily basis. Jeffrey uses it almost on a daily basis. GL uses it almost on a daily basis. I'll be dropping something also in the group because Holly is interested to see how many people are interested in, for example, content creation and what they do. Give me 1 second. Oh, someone's writing me real quick. So how many of you be interested in, for example, content creation, content management, creating and posting for you, social media creation and management, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, podcast creation, podcast management, etc. I'm going to be posting that in the group, but I'm going to do a survey in regards to that. It'd be good to know any of you guys that are actually already here, how many of you would be interested in that. So let's see. Okay. ChatGPT and Claude. That's Daniel Scott Walker. Sorry, that should have been Claude.ai. Carlos. Yeah, that'd be good to know more. They'd like to know more about that as well. GL says yes, they'd be very interested in that. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull up ChatGPT. I do have a PowerPoint we'll go through kind of, and we're going to run through that real quick and kind of tell you why it's important. Like I said, after the class, you'll be able to go through it. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to kind of go through it at your own pace. But for now, we're going to go through it rather quickly. So I'm going to try to do multiple things at one time by myself. So just bear with me because I don't have my homeboy here today because he is in Florida. Let's see here, back. Slideshow, there we go. From the beginning. All right, let's go out of here. And we are recording. We are live. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, Holly, Carlos, Jeffrey, Harry, GL, Mary Ann. We got a lot of people still coming in. So, all right. Let's go ahead and share screen here. PowerPoint. All right. So this is going to be a quick, like we always do, quick guide. Go and go through keyword research, keyword mapping, tools we use, tools you don't have to use, and free ways to do it. And then I'm going to show you as well how to do a topical map. It's going to take me about 15 minutes or less to do the topical map. If that at all. It might even take 5 minutes. Just depends on how ChatGPT will assist me today. All right. So complete guide to SEO keyword research and mapping. Why is it important? One of the words that you'll hear thrown around a lot, which I do have books on this, and someone says keyword means entity. Keywords are entities. Entities are keywords. Okay. Without knowing what your keywords you're trying to target, you don't know who your ideal target is, who your ideal audience is. It helps you research and understand who they are, what do they want, what's their intent, what are they usually searching for, what's their background, where they hang out, what type of traffic, are they coming from newsletters, social media, what platforms on social media. Maybe you need it to TikTok and not Instagram. Like, for instance, when I do reels, they take off on Facebook, not so much on, YouTube. Sometimes they're hit and miss. Sometimes on TikTok, hit or miss. But on Facebook, it's very, very consistent. That sort of thing. So set up your environment before you set it up. You're going to use Keyword Finder. That's one way. You can use SEMrush. That's another way. Ahrefs is another way. ChatGPT is another way. There's 50 million different ways you could do this. Using Google Sheets, Libre Sheets, or any other free software or paid software that you may have, or Excel if you have it. Okay. Keyword research is basically finding out who your target audience is, which I've already went over. All right. We want to find this out. Therefore, we can know what type of content we should be writing and how we should structure the website. That's what we're going to be going over today is why do we perform the keyword research? How do we structure it? How is that going to translate onto the website? Okay. In a nutshell, it gives you the data that you need to answer the following questions. Who's your target customers, right? Which type of people or how many people are looking for it? What's their preferred format of information? Is it info? Is it transactional? Is it commercial? What type of keyword is it? Okay. So you can go visit Keyword Finder, like I said, or Ahrefs or SEMrush. We went kind of through this last week and the week before. You can even break it down by anywhere in the world, or you want it by a specific country, or you want it, what you want it broad, or you want to narrow it down. Okay, depends on what you're trying to do. Once again, like I showed you last week, you simply enter the keyword, and I'll show you this once we actually get out of the slideshow. You can enter in, for example, wedding photographer, California, or wedding photographer near me, etc. And I'll give you a list of general keywords. Having those in there, you'll have suggestions for keywords, search, pay-per-click, difficulty. Okay, we already showed you this like 2 weeks ago, so this is kind of a refresher. Why all that stuff we already went over is very, very important. All right, so mapping the keywords, you're going to have your main pillar entity, if you will. Then it's going to break down into sub-entities, and those sub-entities are going to break down into sub-entities or keywords. In the essence of what we're doing is we're going to create internal linking and structure that is going to give Google our hierarchy and our mapping, which will basically say, hey, Google Spiders, here's what's important for us. Here's what is extremely important for us. Here's what my website's about. Here's the entity that this website is about. I'm going to show you various places. The same thing where I've been talking about schema. Why schema is important is it pulls in the entities. All right, I said it earlier, it's not difficult to carry out. I'm going to show you like in 5 to 10 minutes how to do it, okay? So that's the PowerPoint presentation, right? Give me 1 second, and now we'll go into the actual process, okay? So let me pull up SEMrush. If you don't have SEMrush, or if you don't, we're going to go through SEMrush. We'll go through GPT. We'll go through all that, okay? Someone in the chat, give me a keyword you want me to work with. Jeffrey, GL, Carlos, Holly, anybody. Local keyword, local business, not broad. All right, Sirigu. Devin. Oh, you coming in here late now. All right. All right, let's see. Locksmith, Miami. And we got limo service. I wonder why you want limos, Harry. Knew you reminded me. When I kept seeing your orders come in, kept saying limo. I'm like, you remind me of a limo service guy. Kind of take a lot of them. All right, let's start with locksmith. All right. So let's open up SEMrush. This is not meant to be, fancy schmancy and, polished. All right, let's go and let's say, all right, man, people still come in. Let's do, all right, keyword, and we'll just go locksmith Miami. Or you can pull in, like we already showed you last week, your competition, right? Keyword ideas. There's 627 variations. Here's questions. It gives you the clusters. You can view all the clusters and etc. Here as well. Let me shrink this down so I can see my complete screen. Cost per click, right? You can view all the clusters, view all the keywords. Here's your top competition, top websites in the area, keyword history. The people that are running ads in the area, like I showed y'all last week, this is a place where you could actually go and copy their ads, tweak it a little bit for yourself. But like I said last week, generally speaking, the ones that are going to work the best are generally on ads, or if the ad's been running for months and months or even up to a year, They're obviously performing well because people that leave ads up and they're running for a long period of time are because they're running well, unless they're just dumb and like to spill money. So if you click on view all 627 keywords, we could take those and then we can export them, which I showed you guys this last week, right? You can check out local metrics if you want as well by your actual area. Let's say Miami, Florida, right? Or let's go Florida, and then find your city if at all possible, if they have it. So we go down to Florida. I don't see it. Viewing each new location. Then we try to pull that, right? But nevertheless, you could export all this in an Excel file and then utilize it that way, right? And then you have all these keywords, 627 keywords, and then we're going to map them, right? And I'm going to show you what a map looks like, all right? So most of the time, let's just take, for example, let's go back. Since you gave me this topic, let me go back. Since you gave me this topic, Daniel, why don't you give me the competition you want me to look at too? So, Joe, are people more likely to type in locksmith Miami? No, not in my opinion. If you're locked out of your car, you're probably going to type in lockout or locked out of my car or locksmith near me or emergency locksmith or automobile locksmith. They're variant keywords that you may want to go after. Number one important thing, like I told y'all last time, is when we look at these keywords, look at the keyword difficulty. And I can take the keyword difficulty in my Excel sheet like we did last week, organize it so I see the ones that are the easiest first, and I go after the easiest keywords first. Therefore, I'll get a ton of keywords and I can rank within minutes. Oh, it only gives me 40 volume searches a month. Well, 40 times, let's see how many of these. Like this one right here, 590. So let's say it's let's just say it's about 40 keywords and the average volume is, I don't know, 40, 20, some of them are more, some of them 720, but just for shits and giggles, the average is, let's say 70. That's 2,800 searches a month, and some of them are obviously 720, 320, more, 140, 170, but average, let's say you're going to pull in 3,000, 4,000 keywords or search. And now the client's happy because you got all these really easy rinky-dink keywords they're pulling in. It's not going to take very many backlinks, etc., to get them ranked for, etc. This isn't organic, not in maps, okay? But nevertheless, that's the number one thing I'm going to look for whenever I'm looking at keywords. That's step one. Now, let's say, okay, you're supposed to give me, let me go back to you real quick. Oh, what's the competition you want me to look at? Okay, you did not. All right, so let's go back here. Typical in typical fashion. Let's just go locksmith Miami. And I cannot spell for shit. So he's gonna add, this is an ad, this is an ad. And once again, everybody says you shouldn't do ads. Oh yeah, you should do ads because it's pushing Google Maps down. But let's just say quickly locksmith Miami. We go to their website and we pulled the sitemap. That's why I showed you guys last time. He's got all his solutions. He's got his services here, right? This is, if you will, mapping. Mapping simply means structure. But before you actually create your site, before you actually start creating content and giving it to your content writers, or if you will, your content creators, you need to map out your structure. I do this personally before I even do this part of our SEO audit. So the next thing we're going to do, let's say we're going to do locksmith Miami. Okay. So I have the prompts. I will be giving you guys the prompts and all that stuff. So therefore you can see it whenever we're done. Okay. It will be on the back end. There are 3 prompts. I did not get these prompts. I did not make these prompts up myself. This is just something I found and I've used it and it works for me. Doesn't work, perfectly every time, but it's pretty damn close. I'll put it that way. So my locksmith Miami. So we've moved on. So let's go to Chat GPT. This is one way I use. I use it for keyword research. I just go this has nothing to do with topical map. I go, give me a list of 100 keywords about locksmith near me. Or let's go, in your case, we wanted to do Miami. And I keep spelling it wrong. And it will give me this fancy dancy list of 100 keywords, and it will give me all these keywords, right? And I can sit here and I can take all this stuff, and I can structure it. By the time we're done, this is what your sitemap will basically look like. Okay. But it's giving you a list of keywords, and it'll take 5 minutes or less to do this versus downloading it and everything else. Now, the reason why I like using SEMrush or Ahrefs is it gives me which one's the most difficult keywords, yada, yada, yada. Therefore, I can go after them. But it doesn't break down the way I like things broken down. Okay, that's one way. So now we got, you can do it another way. I don't like the way it did it. This is just 25 keywords. I can go, what happens if you stop? You go, keep going. That's all I do, right? And I'll keep going, same structure, expand the categories, and it will expand on it. Okay, till you get about 100. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. Now there's 2 things. I use the paid version of ChatGPT. Besides using the paid version of ChatGPT, I also make an Excel sheet. You can make this a lot easier on yourself if you'll use the plugins. One is called Excel Pro. If you go in here and type in, this is not Excel Pro, Excel, come on, any sheet, make a sheet, any of these, right? Use any of them. Because believe it or not, it will actually put your information into an Excel sheet for you. So the 3 prompts, first prompt is going to be this one. And this, I'm going to put, let's say this is going to be locksmith Miami. If you're not following along, have any questions, drop them below. I'm telling it to create and act as if you are a topical map generator. Now, why would I want to know? Hey, let's just give you an example. Why would you want to use this free way instead of another way? Number one, I'm trying to save money, trying to show you free ways, etc. GLS is what kind of breakdown SEMrush is not able to provide. Well, SEMrush isn't structured the way I want it to be structured. For one, they don't give me the topical map the way I want it. Topical maps. If you went to buy a topical map, there is a couple that I will show you. But so there's one that's free and it's basic, right? Then there's in links, which I'll show you, and then there's another one. I'm going to show you all these. All right. So before we go back into ChatGPT, I'm going to show you the output of various ones. Okay. So let's go ahead and show you. This one's free. It's put up by FatRank. It's actually a friend of mine that does this. But it's called askoptimo.com. It will do ads, social media, copywriting, SEO, video, email, business, right? If you type in locksmith Miami, click generate for the topical map. This is the type of topical map it will start you with. Now, considering the topical maps we are going to be creating, this is not going to be, it's going to be something to start with. When you do a topical map, you should wind up having thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. So For example, when I look at this topical map, the main pillar is going to be locksmith services in Miami. Pillar 2 is going to be benefits of hiring locksmiths in Miami. Pillar 3, trusting your locksmith in Miami. Pillar 4, locksmith communication in Miami, which goes over pricing, time of updates, assurance, and reporting, and 24/7 reporting. Pillar 5, popular services in Miami. Common locksmith emergencies. So I personally do not like the way this does an output for it. Personally, just me. All right. The next one is going to be in links. All right. So if you were to actually buy in links to do this for you, it's only going to do like 100 pages is $49 a month. Agency is almost $200 a month. Enterprise, which is someone like me that I would need, I'm going to have to call them up and get a price, and it's going to be a lot of money. Okay. Those are the various ways you can do it. Then SEMrush, and let's do this one real quick. Topical maps, this one, they'll create the blueprint for you, right? The map, everything I'm going to show you, like the map I'm going to show you, the clusters I'm going to show you, but mind you, it's giving you hundreds of topics and clusters. It's going to cost you $1,000. If you want to become the authority, thousands upon thousands of pages, etc., $2,000. All right. Now, SEMrush. Let's go back over to SEMrush and we'll show you that again. But let's just type in Locksmith Miami. All right. See the clusters. Hopefully it will pull this up for me. So it will pull in the clusters, the core cluster. I'm going to show you this part, and then I'll also show you ChatGPT, right? It gives you the mind map. It gives you the clusters, and then you can take this information and export it and create your map. So you got export, write content, right? High ranking potential is this one right here because it's got a keyword difficulty of only 16. This one as well, on keyword difficulty right here, car locksmith North Miami. It's only a 6. The volume, though, you see the volume here is 1,500, 950, and 590. All right. So we can create a mind map. The mind map, which is really cool as well, you can export this, as a JPEG or a PNG, send this over to a client and be like, hey, this is what I'm going to make for you. This is the content I'm going to make for you. You can go to someone like myself or Holly and then get a content creation done for you, right? Holly's going to be talking about content creation in the next probably few weeks or something. But then you can also take all the keywords that you want that's in a table. I can take this in a table. And why is a table important? So the cluster is just a visual, if you will, for yourself. These are the clusters that you're going to create. So your main pillar, if you will, is going to be locksmith, and these are the clusters. Okay. Locksmith in Brickell, if you're going to do that, which I wouldn't suggest. Car locksmith, North Miami, locksmith, Miami Beach, locksmith, Miami. How much does locksmith? See, for me, this is not, depending on how you want to structure it, I don't like the way this structures it. So someone was asking me earlier why I don't like using SEMrush necessarily. It's because if you look at this, the clusters really are like, this isn't really going to cover it for me. Now, that being said, I do like the fact that it takes it and puts it in a table, right? So now I have everything in a table. Let me go over to this question real quick. Okay, Daniel, I'll show you. I'm showing you GL. Daniel, the way I normally do it, I'll separate categories: automotive, commercial, residential, correct. Then the subsections like car key replacement. So you're going to really like what I do with ChatGPT then, Daniel, when I show you this. So this right here, like the table, doesn't break it down. This is part of what I'll wind up having to do manually. So it gives you, I don't even know, 70, 90 keywords, which is not even, in my opinion, is not even a basic site map. I mean, it's very, 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 very basic. So now how do we use it with ChatGPT? All right, let's go to ChatGPT. I'm telling act as a topical map generator. Your topic is Locksmith Miami. Please provide a list of at least 50 nouns or predicates related to Locksmith Miami, such as specific products, categories, as well as any specific purposes, qualities, features that are relevant You're going to generate a topical map with each category, corresponding subtopics. Okay, let's see how long this takes. We're starting in your time, 8:30 or 8:23. Start. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them below. But this whole process, unless my internet screws up, will not take more than 15 minutes. And by the time I'm done, sometimes I have to go refresh, because it doesn't put it out in the way I like it. But generally speaking, it does. I know some of you are going to go CCTV installation, alarm systems, biometric locks, people installation. Why would I want to do that? Well, if you go over to, I'll give you an example. What is an entity? For example, if we go over to Wikipedia and we type in the word locksmith, what is Google? What is most of the time Google think of, or data aggregators think of when they think of locksmith? These are all the references, all the keywords you should be using. Generally speaking, whenever you are trying to write content about, let's say, a locksmith, locksmithing, metalworking, locks, all these different key terms, right? You see all this, pages required locksmithing. All of this is what you need to be doing. So now you see, okay, it's pulled the key, it's pulled the nouns, the predicates, right? Giving you 50 of them. It's taken and giving you a topical map structure. Okay, so if you will, if you're looking at a site map like I showed you last time, it'd be home, about us, services, products, then it'd go technical aspects of locksmithing, or you could go other locksmith services, whatever. Business aspects, which would generally be under about us, etc. But then it breaks all the nouns and related topics down. Key duplication, services, and technical products, and technical products, and then lock installation, technical services, customers use, has to do with your business. Okay. Now, the second prompt is, I'm going to say, generate a semantic graph. Semantics is, how are these words related to one another? Okay. I'm just going to try to tell you in layman's terms. I'm not trying to give you fancy schmancy words to describe things. Most people are business owners. They're not going to look at things from a technical nodes and all this other stuff and how strings attach to each other, right? But you don't even need to know that, because GPT will break it down for you. Node means a subtopic. It's a fancy way of saying subtopic. Right now, you're seeing already, it's already developing a graph of how they should be related to each other. Right? How many of you like this so far? Give me a 1 in the chat. I've been trying to do this for a while and finally got it. So right. The third and last step. I'm going to tell it, and this is where sometimes it messes up, because if you look at the prompt, it's telling visualize, and it's going to tell you, I can't visualize, dumbass. I'm an AI. I can't visualize it. A tree diagram, a mind map, a table, a bar graph, a pie chart, a network diagram, or a flow chart. The two that I think gives it the best is going to be a mind map and a flow chart. Before you create the network diagram, visualize it in your mind and then create the diagram. Well, number one, AI ain't got no damn mind. Okay. But we're going to see what it does. And I've done this already repetitively. I wind up generally having to do it a couple of times to get the choice that I want. And then I take this and I put it into Excel. By the time you're done, this is what it winds up looking like. So now after I have all of this fancy schmancy stuff, right, put into here, then I then take all of this and give it to my content writers, and my content writers write it. Now just imagine, so you got, I don't know, let's say just like Matt Diggity and others teach and I teach, you take all of these, they have their own pages. You got 100 pages, right? So you got 100 pages. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We got 28 subtopics, and we got 100 of the keywords that we're going to cover. We got 28 subtopics, and then we got 10. We got a total of 10 blogs per main topic. So we got 100 blogs altogether. This is just the basic getting started. We already got 228 pages. Each page, let's say, has at least 1,500 words. We got almost 400,000 words of content on our site. And this is going to make Google wind up starting to pay attention to us, right? And it tells you right here, this is what it did, node subtopics, right? And then I told it, I said, visualize, and this is what it does. It does not give me what I want, so I refresh again. I've done this many a times, and then sometimes it will give me exactly what I want, and then other times it will not, and I have to refresh it, or I'll reword it. Think of it this way, when you're trying to give it a prompt, if it's not giving you what you want, it's likely because of your wording. So what I will wind up doing is rewording it, taking out probably, for this case, because I've done this already, the word visualizing. And I'll tell it to give me the above in a mind map or a flow chart. I will get rid of certain words. Say, let's see, but sometimes depending on the keyword, it will actually do it for you immediately without, having, let's see if it does it. There, yep, worse. Right? So let's rewrite it. Say visualize. Okay. Take the above data and place it in a mind map. Oops. Sorry about that. Mind map, table, or flowchart. See, it's telling you it cannot create visuals, blah, 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 but it will structure it. Now, there are other times whenever I do this that I could show you that it will do it perfectly. Okay, so let's try this one other time. I'm going to do it with Locksmith Miami again, but I'm going to reword it in a different way. But as you can see, it gives you the diagram, gave you the keywords, gives you the subtopics. And then what we did is we took all the keywords, we placed them over here. After we place all the keywords over here, this is going to be your template. Place all your keywords over here. Then once I do that, what are your what are your main topics you're going to cover? Main topics you're going to cover are right here: services, products, technical aspects, business aspects, or if you will, home, about us, locksmith services, and then installation and repair locksmith services. And then you can do as well as about us. Then we're going to take that, put the subtopics in here, then we can create all the blog titles. Now, how do I create the blog titles? We'll get into that, but let's go ahead and I'm going to do this again. Let's go over here and go topical map. Let's create that and do this real quick. I have another way of wording it, which I do know works. And I've seen it do this depending on the niche. It won't do it right, or it won't do it the way you want it to do it. Okay. Generate. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Carlos says this is definitely a rewatch training. I agree. Mog, you can use a plugin for that, William. Yes, you can. And I do use that plugin. You've had luck with Xmind plugin in Chat GPT. Yep. To generate the mind map. Correct. You have to use Charts plugin, which I do have as well. Do you have a way to write the content in bulk? I have VAs. So, and we use ScaleNut, which we had a guy on there as well. We have a way to write the content in bulk. Holly's going to show you guys that when she goes over it. Daniel uses ZimWriter. There's a bunch of different plugins you can use, right? Bunch of different plugins, which I already know. I already showed you. It's like to generate the mind map is Xmind plugin. Yes, correct. We can show you that. Let's go ahead and stop this real quick and okay, so good. So if you go over here, you have to have Pro, then you go to plugin store. We're going to type in Xmind, right? It's not there. Mind map. Okay, there's nothing in here for mind map or except there, but you do diagrams. You install this AI diagrams. This is flow charts, scientific literature. So we can install. Let's go ahead and install this, right? Because this is going to be a mind map. You can export it, edit it, etc. It's already installed. Then we could also try AI diagrams, but we'll go back. Okay, so now we have, let's redo this, and we're going to do it that way. Got both of them. You want to make sure the blue check mark is checked off, otherwise it's not going to do it. Let's go back to Chat GPT. I'm going to enter this in, right? All right, guys, let's see here. Lots of people still coming in. So Mog, it's important to put the city in the keyword for the prompt. Is it important? No, it's not. You can use Power AI to have the content written for Google Sheet from a Google Sheet. Yep. Very good information everybody's given here. Holly will be going over content writing and content creation. Okay. You don't want to do what most people do is they do spaghetti marketing where they just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Okay, you can just Power AI. Carlos says I started with ScaleNut to try it out. Also use PGAI generator. Let's see, Agility Writer, auto blogging, all good bulk writers, correct. All right. So it's giving you the topical map. It's giving you the subtopics, right? Services, products, specialization, technical skills. Okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Usually the end of the prompt, if you have it put in saying do a mind map or a diagram, it will usually tell you, say, hey, you've asked me to put this in a diagram. Do you want to use said plugin? Okay, so waiting, and then we're going to get prompt number 2. Now let's create a visual. You see this already? It's saying use diagrams. Now let's create a visual topical map, and it's using the topical map to create the diagram. And I'll be sending this SOP over as well for you guys, not just the PowerPoint. And then we also have an ebook on keyword mapping, and then we're going to go through this too. Got about 30 more minutes. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them below, because this is not just, if you will, for me to come in here and teach you. Mastermind is for us to help each other. Okay. So a mind map is simply just a way of visualizing it. Your main keyword on here is, guess what? The big blue locksmith, where it says right here, locksmith, Miami. And it tells you straight up, would you like to explore other diagrams, styles, or languages? For instance, you could try the mind map markup or this or sequence map. Let me know if you like to see any of these other combinations, right? You could choose any one of them if you wanted to look at this. This is nice. You know, now you have, if you will, I hate when it does that, pop up like that. Got 30 something people in here. Like I said, if you have any questions, make sure to drop them below and we will get to them. Even if you don't think I'm paying attention, I am paying attention to you. Just a lot going on at one time. Okay. So we have your diagram. You know, this is simply a diagram, right? What I want besides a diagram is you also want this in an Excel sheet, right? This is where I was using make an Excel sheet before. And then I would take and put this in Excel format. You know, instead of just having here. Now let's create an Excel sheet based on, now let's create a Excel sheet. And then topics, subtopics, mind map, etc. It's going to pull in the data. And then if it does it right, it will put it into an Excel sheet. But you have your mind map. The mind map, these are your topics, subtopics. Okay, all pulls from here. Let's say, okay, it tells you, for example, services. All right. You're going to have main this is your technical. This is the one main service. Then this is the next service. This is the next pillar. We're using content. We got your main service or your main entity, your pillar entity is Locksmith Miami, which then breaks down into services. Bam. Then breaks down into technical skills such as key duplication, picking, or programming. Then you got professional development, which means association memberships, licensing, training, and certification. Because when Google thinks of locksmith, they're not just thinking about services. They're thinking about everything that has to do with locksmith, okay? Business aspects, local network, partnerships, mobile services, customer service. The next one, specializations, which has to do with, let's say, access control, master key systems. The next thing that Google thinks of is products. Goes through deadbolts, lock types, smart locks, padlocks, keyless biometric systems. Okay. Let's go down here. See, and it didn't do it the way we wanted to do it. Right. But what we do have, we have it all listed out. And then what I do is I put it all in here. Right. And I've trained my staff, my virtual assistants, or actually in our case, our employees to do this. So in this case, we go, what's your main topic? Based on our mind map, we go is going to be locksmith, right? Set of concrete services going to be locksmith. Then what's going to be our subservices based off of that? Well, it gave us our subservices up here, but then it put in this pretty little map here, right? Now, how do I get all these blog topics, right? So for blog topics, what I do, for example, is I'll go back into Chat GPT. Let's get all this. Right, go down here. Right, and then I will say, in my case, make me a list of 10 blogs regarding each of the following. I have a bad spelling habit when I'm trying to type. And then it will put all of that in a handy dandy little thing for you. See, it's an example of Excel sheet, create blah, 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 blah. How to find. So I want to look at this real quick. So I had it and I was make a sheet's not the best one. There's another one I have. But it's putting it, okay. Blog topics, Kimi blog, Papa Lock. You could do all these different types of blogs. This is if you're going after brand names, okay, which you can do, which I have done, and you can steal traffic from people. The other way is I take all of the keywords For example, if I was to go, give me a list of 100, or let's not even do 100. Let's go 50 keywords about the main topic, locksmith services. A lot of you guys are like, well, how can you come up with topics? And this is really, it's not that difficult. Okay. It's going to give you all these topics. And then after that, I'm going to say now, based on the above, give me a list of blog titles with those keywords. I'll wait till it's done. And then once it's done. But ultimately, the reason why we're going to show you guys this is, and I'll wait till it's done. It's almost done. Any questions so far? Any questions? Any questions? All right. Yeah, I'll show you about structuring the URL, Daniel. Dennis, it might come in later, but how to use internal linking? Is there a way to GPT? I've seen ChatGPT do it, but it depends on what type of keyword and topical map you're creating. For instance, multiple city, even national sites, multiple states. So now, for example, check out Julian Goldie. Julian, we're actually having come on later this week. So Julian's actually going to be coming on talking about that specifically. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to show you the topical map to begin with. I've seen it done on, let's say, a broad topic like locks, not locksmith, but locks or lighting or birds or pests or ants or insects and stuff like that. Mubin, I have one question. When this recording will end, will this be uploaded? It's going to be on YouTube. And it's also put in GMB on the back end, and it's live across the groups. Now, internal linking, I like using Link Whisperer. Makes it easy. Harry, Julian, yep, correct. He'll be on Wednesday. Replay link is mailed out at the end of the week, every week. Carlos, PGAI is prompts that you can include with all these correct and write the titles, outlines, using ChatGPT, Bard, and Claude. Another really good one. Oh gosh, I've had the guy on before. I'll think of it probably by the time I'm ended. But now you create the blog titles. This is mainly for people, let's say you ain't got a bunch of money to be putting out there. So a lot of times people they're getting started. They don't have the money to create, if you will, and use this tool and that tool and this tool and that tool, because then it adds up. And the next thing you know, you're spending over $1,000 a month. ScaleNut is an awesome content writer. I love using it. But so now what am I going to do with all this? Same thing. When I'm done, when someone orders a topical map from us, right, and they get all this, we give them this, we give them the graph, and now they have a place to start, and I can give this over. Then they can order content. You give this, or if you have your own content writers, you give it over to your content writers, and they can write the content. Now, how should this all be internally linked? So you have your main topic, your main pillar. On this one is going to be, in this case, concrete services. Then your subtopic of that is construction, repair and restoration, finishing, and decorative. Now, the blogs or your supporting content about that, we got 10 of them here, right? Make sure you see my screen. I'm going to go ahead and go through this so you can see my screen. So your main topic, concrete services, subtopic, construction and repair and restoration. Then you have 10 blogs of supporting content, right? How should this all be internally linked? If I'm talking about construction services over here in this blog, it should be linked to the subtopic on construction. If I'm talking about repair and restoration, right, it should be linked to repair and restoration. Okay, so your blog supports is linked back to the subtopic. The subtopic is then linked back to the main pillar. Then we go to the next one, foundations. Your subtopic, you have your main pillar, your subtopics, which I only listed 3. This is just to get started. I never usually want to go 3 deeper in my subtopics, but your blogs are your supporting content like this one. What's the different types of foundations and their respective advantages? That then links back to foundation construction, which then links back to foundations. What's your next main topic? Driveways. Driveway installation is your subtopic. Driveway repair, then stamp color and concrete. Then you have your blogs or supporting content. Those supporting content, let's say this one right here. What factors influence the design of a concrete driveway? That would be linked internally to the third subtopic, which is stamped and colored concrete driveways, in my opinion, which is then linked back to driveways. You would never write a blog and just have it link directly to the homepage, because the whole purpose is to have your blog link back to your subtopic, which then links back to your homepage. All right. So let's see. Let's see if we got any questions. So I got a lot. Is there any need for a tool like Jasper? No, there is not. I don't like Jasper. Don't use Jasper. I use ScaleNut because we write a lot of freaking content. All right, last time I checked, PGAI was a one-time price of 67 price. I'll have to check that out. You guys, y'all might want to check out that. Carlos he's mentioned it. He's using it. It's PGAI. Any content tools that you guys recommend, just drop them below. Any internal linking hacks that you want to recommend, drop them below. If you have any internal linking prompts you want to recommend, drop it below. Let's try it live. Harry says, and then all your backlinks points to blogs or category. Now, here's another one. Thank you, Harry, for bringing it up. So you have all these subtopics here. Whenever you go to create your categories inside your posts inside WordPress, what are you going to name your categories? You will name them according to your subcategories. And every time you make a blog, you're going to put it where? Into that assigned subcategory and the main category. You're going to create it. You're going to, with the blog, you'll create 2 things. You're going to create main category, concrete services, subcategory, construction. And then that blog, when it's posted, is going to go into construction and concrete services. Thank you, Harry. Let's see here. Would you then do multiple blogs per day or per week? No, I do not do multiple blogs per day, per week. We do it, well, according to most people. Our basic SEO package, which is the cheapest one, comes with 10 blogs a month. Most expensive package comes with 40 blogs a month. Right? For me, I want to do as much content. When I do the mind map, I have them create all the content. Then once all the content's created, I instruct them how to place it on the website. Then once it's placed on the website, I then go to Google Search Console and then I resubmit my sitemap. Okay. Dennis, can you any of the main topics pages, PR subtopic pages, just be an archive page? Why would you want to do that? That's my question. I don't necessarily want it on archive. Rob Lishman. Okay, so my head is spinning. Just purchased a topical map from you. Correct. Thank you, Rob. If you buy a website from us, there's 2 questions I'm going to ask you. So you have option 1, give me a list of the service pages you want and the blogs you want, or 2, go purchase what we normally charge $97 for, that spreadsheet with your topical map, and we'll make you the topical map. Link Whisper is amazing, but don't use it on auto linking. Correct. Because what happens is you'll wind up getting over carried away, and it will just link on whatever the hell it thinks should be linked on instead of what you want it linked on. Carlos Cortez, I'm glad that you showed that for the concrete because that is what I asked for before, but I handed it off to you. Just wanted to learn more, Carlos. GL meaning all blogs at once. No. So what I'm going to do, you create the topical map. There's a procedure in this, and I have it in our guide that were created with Riz had mentioned. We're going to do keyword research, and then we're going to do a topical map, and then I'm going to have our content creators, our writers create all of it. Then they're going to place it all on the website. Then once it's placed all on the website and you've done all your technical SEO, when you start your regular SEO, your backlinking, your press releases, your GMB posts and optimization, all that stuff, right? I'm also doing, blogs on a monthly basis. Okay. GL me, so no, we're going to be doing we do blogs every week. So there's constant updates. Google wants to see fresh, updated content that's helping. Think of it this way. SEO is this. What can you do to make Google look good? They don't want a crappy performing website. They don't want a website with outdated information. They want a website that's fast and has good, updated, quality information that people are looking for and answers questions. Okay. Does that mean backlinks don't work? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means what they're looking for mainly is quality content and engagement, and how long you're keeping someone on the site, et cetera, things like that. Backlinks do help, but it's not the main thing. Oskino Mac, does this avoid keyword cannibalization? For the most part, yes. That's the whole reason you want a map. Oskino, so you drip the information over time? No, I don't. I'm going to create the map. This is just a basic map just to get started. By the time you're done, let's say every month you're adding more and more and more. And I'll show you even more of that Oskino over time. URL structures like this one: home, concrete services, construction, home, concrete. Yes, correct, Rob. So now let's say, just for example, let's say now I've got all this. I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subtopics. Now let's say I want to create more subtopics of this. I can go back over to ChatGPT and say, give me a list of subtopics for concrete. And you're going to see what we're going to do. So now I can literally I can recreate another one, but I can literally go, okay, give me subtopics of the different types of concrete finishings. So then once I did this and made even more subtopics on this, right, I can then blog to subtopic to subtopic and keep going. Every month I could continue adding more and more and more content. Because what happens, why you're wanting to do this, right, is why you're wanting to do this is you are wanting to continue providing Google's audience, which is your audience, with more updated and fresh content that you're constantly updating on a regular basis. Now, see, it's already giving you all this. I could then take this and add in another column if I wanted to. And go subtopics of subtopics. Go subtopics of subtopics. And then over here, I can go like subtopics. And then over here, I can go blog of subtopics of subtopics. Right. And then when it's done, I could take all this right here, right? And I can put it in here, right? Right here. If I wanted to just put it in right there. Of course, it's going to make it like that, but we're going to go format, wrapping, try overflow, but usually it doesn't work that way. I'm going to go wrap or clip or any of the above, right? So now you have a subtopic of a subtopic, etc. But ultimately, and then you can come over here and then we write blogs about this topic, you know? So now we have not only subtopics, we have subtopics of your subtopic. Okay. So Hammy has questions here for me, and then we can proceed. So we have main topic, subtopic of your main topic. Then you have subtopics of subtopics, and all the blogs connect to each one of them. And this is what I'm saying. Over time, the first one I'm going to generally drop is going to be main topics with their subtopics and blogs. Drop that all at once. And then every month, continue to add subtopics of subtopics. For example, now we can go over here and go, now do the same for concrete repair and restoration. And I'll do the same thing. All right. Let me go back to some questions while that's writing. They will automatically start interlinking, I'm guessing. No, you're going to physically do it. Major and the minors don't, most people do it the verse round way. Maybe a tip for internal linking uses template to getting internal linking on the site. It's using a tool called Power AI Writing live on the site based on this sheet. It's limited, but can write 1,000 posts at a term. I personally am very careful when it comes to internal linking on automation. Ricardo, are we going to do something else with these blogs besides linking to the upper pages? Okay. So that's the whole point of content structure. Okay. An entity, when you say entity SEO, it means Google recognizes you as the #1 authority or brand in that niche in that specific city. And you do that through content, authority, and trustworthiness. Okay. One thing I've heard is tiered 1 links, tier 2, tier 3. That's with backlinks, Carlos. That has nothing to do with content structure. So tiered linking has nothing to do with content structure. Now, would have to do with, for example, where are you sending your backlinks? Are you sent to this is much later down the road, but when I've created the mind map, I've already created topical maps, and now have handed this off. We've made the content. Besides making the content, we've also now published the content, and now we can also create subtopics of subtopics and blogs of subtopics of subtopics. And you add those on a regular basis. The reason why you want this sheet, for example, you could do as simple as, okay, I've marked all these green, therefore I know they've been added to the site. All these have been added to the site and they are marked green, but then all these subtopics are red and they need to be done. All these blog subtopics and subtopics red, they need to be done. It's an easy way to have a quick visual to see what is done versus what's not done. And once again, these are subtopics of subtopics for repair and restoration, right? And you do the same thing and go, now do the same for concrete construction. And it'll do the same thing. And then once we're done, we put that over here, here, here. Now you can go so far as to go, well, I don't want to do it that way. I want to create all these subtopics. And let's say I put all these subtopics into a Google Word document. and I'll show you that as well. Hopefully, once this gets done, you go to Drive, just for an example, go New, Google Document, and I create a Google document. And let's say we're going to go after finishing. Wait till this is done. Admit, we got over 30 something people in here today. Let's go up here. So how would I hand this off to now a VA? Right. So why would I suggest using a VA? Because I know this is going to come up. Why should I suggest a VA over? And I give you an example. So finishing. Why would I suggest a VA over AI? Because an AI can, the whole purpose of an AI is to help you, makes you better, makes you faster. So then I give this over to a, put it in a blog, not a blog, but put it on a PDF or put it on a document. And then I can go, content to write for finishing and decorative services. You have to get extremely organized for the most part, and you may want to put check marks on all of this. You may want to insert check marks, insert check marks, bullet points, break points, table of contents. It's up to you, quite honestly, but I tend to wind up, when I'm doing this sort of thing, I'll do check marks like this. Therefore, by the time I'm done, we'll know, has the VA done all the content they need to do? Give you an example. And then once we're done, I will hyperlink this onto that sheet so we can keep track of it. I like to keep track of most of this stuff. So you're going to hand this off to your VA once you're done, or whoever you're having write the content, right? Let's go back up. All right, so now I go, let me share. I'm going to copy this. Anyone with a link can mess with it. They could edit it, save this. Now I'm done with that. And I go back over here and there you go. Right? So now when your VA comes in here, they can write all the content. All right. Let's see. All right, Mog, what about geography location-based service pages? It's not a strategy that necessarily I teach. I know Chris talks about it somewhere. You go, for example, plumber, Orlando. Let's say you take the same keywords that I'm giving you. The only difference is you add this, the service is plumber, Miami. I don't do it that way. I create location pages. I also have a geostack that I do, and I will be teaching as well. Not saying it doesn't work. It's just not what I do. In that case, what you're mainly going after is I would just give you an example and say, go up here real quick. So here's all the keywords. For example, this is what he's talking about. And you go, add the city name, Miami, or Miami, Florida, to the end of each, or at the beginning. You can go literally plumber, Miami plumber, or you can go at the beginning or the end of each keyword. And you do this, and it will literally just go blah, 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 and put all the keywords with the city. See? That's all it is. And that's the way you structure. I'm going to structure the URL that way regardless. I may not necessarily, if you will, create the content that way, but I will structure the URL that way. Just depends on the niche sometimes. I will not put in the menu, for example, it's not going to say emergency locksmith Miami, residential locksmith Miami, commercial locksmith Miami. If you're in Miami, it's a given. It's going to be in Miami. Let me go back to some more questions. Is it a bad idea to have internal linking to go to more different posts? I would not. That's not the purpose. The whole purpose, Dennis, is main topic, subtopic, and then a blog or supporting content that goes boop, boop, and you're daisy chaining it. Okay. I think, I sometimes think to link more than 10, that's way too much to me. I just don't do that. If I was going to do anything, I'll tell you what I would do. If I was going to do anything, you have a main topic, subtopic, and then a blog or supporting content of that, right? I personally would go straight to the subtopic. That's it. Subtopic goes to the main topic. If you want to create more internal linking, then think of the subtopics versus and subtopics. You're not able to see my screen share. I don't know why you're not able to see my screen share, GL, because I'm definitely sharing. Anybody else have that issue? But I don't think so, because no one else has said nothing. But if you are, just let me know, because right now you should see Chat GPT. Okay, appearing black screen. How long approximately the VAs take to write that? One VA, I mean, I'll give you an example. I could write, when I trained them, 90,000 words generally per VA per month. Good content, not crap content. If you just want AI content, you can go with like auto blogging and some other things. And Holly has tools, and Holly's going to show you guys how they do that as well. It's better to outsource it, in my personal opinion. Therefore, you don't have to worry about it. Why not use AI to write the content? Yeah, we already talked about that, Ricardo. You could do that, but then you still have to have an AI go through it. They can't just write the content, slap it up there. I mean, you can, but it's still best to have someone go through it. Mog says, got it, makes sense. I mean, can we not add keyword in the URL for location page? Correct. When I show you how to do our location pages, our location page has the main URL that you're wanting to go after. That's the main location that I'm showing, right? I'm only doing one city page, and I'm going to show you guys that on another day, but I'm doing one city page, and that's all you see. Then I'm also going to show you how to do my geo stack, which is 30 plus pages. Then I'm going to show you how to do neighborhood pages, which are sub pages of your main pillar page or your city page. Okay. You see the screen share. Awesome. You got the screen share. Rob got a bounce. Thanks a lot. Thanks a ton, William. Any other questions? I've been talking about schema lately. Rizik is going to be coming in and talking about schema. It's the tool I've been using to do it. Okay. If you're service area based business, it does not do it right now. But that being said, it does it for every other business. Okay. If it's got an address showing, it'll do it automatically. Then I'm also going to show you how to use our tool as well on a later date. Whenever I go to install the location page plugin, I'm going to show you how to use that. I'm also going to show you how to use our rank schema. So, correct. What about the relevant? Okay, here we go. So Mog says, what about relevant images to the blog content? That's the strategy also for GeoStack, mainly Google ecosystem. I personally will pull images from places like Wikipedia. If I was going to tell you what images to pull, go to Google, pull images off of Wikipedia, make sure to give them, you know, if you will, tell them, say, this is where I pulled it from. In other words, I didn't just make this image up. I'm not throwing the image on the website. that's up to you. We also do image SEO where we create all the images using Canva, and then we put in the latitude, longitude, all that stuff into it. All right. GL blogs would live under the subtopic page or under blogs. There's no under blogs. This is what most people understand. Like when you go to create, I'll show you. Give you an example. When you log into your WordPress site, and I'm going to show you once I log in. Okay. I've logged into WordPress and I go over here to my posts and you see categories right here. Right? You can have a main category. Let's call it, plumber, or plumbing news, or plumber near me, Miami, right? That's where your main blog is going to be. But all your subcategories, which we showed you over here, right? All your subcategories, I'll show you this again. All your subcategories, which are right here, are going to be created as, once again, subtopics, right? And what we're going to do inside of our categories of blogs, let me go back here and I'll show you again. So when we go back into William Jones Marketing, I'll show you this. I can show you. And you're creating your blog under posts. You create your categories. What's the parent category? Parent category is going to be your main blog category. Let's say plumber near me. I'll show you that real quick. And I'll delete it afterwards. Near me. Right? Plumber near me. Or plumber near me, Miami. Just give me an example. Right? There's no parent. It is the parent, right? And then when I go in here and I create construction or the subtopic, then I choose the main category or parent category is plumber near me. You see this? It's already internally linked. So now when you're creating those blog posts, that's the way they live. What's your view of rank and rent versus client work? I think you should do both. I've already talked about this before. It's like having a table with one leg if you're just an agency owner. You should be doing agency work, rank and rent, joint ventures. This recording will be available for rewatching, admin. Yes, it will be. Correct, Carlos. If you're going to use, let's say we go over to Wikipedia. I'll give you an example. Let's just log out of this real quick. So let's say Wikipedia and I wanted to make a page about Miami, Florida. And I go and use one of these images on here. Like this one. I'm going to give them credit. Right? Because if you don't give them credit, you can get in trouble. This is one of the reasons, one of the things I'm going to go over in technical SEO is I do believe in doing external linking to pages. Some people say you don't have to, or you just shouldn't. You should not. I don't think you need to get carried away, but I still think you should do external linking. All right, let's look again. Dennis, this is an archive page. You can add to the archive using the description is a bad. I don't use archive pages. Just not me. Archive page, I understand. You can have a certain amount of blogs showing, and then after that it gets archived. Yes, that's fine. It's not something I'm worried about. All right, guys, I'm going to put this template in the back end. I'm going to upload it in GME Pros. I'm going to put it inside of, and I'll show you guys this again. I'm going to put it inside of GME Pros. If you do not have GME Pros access, go submit a support ticket. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all that. So you want to log into GME Pros, go here, click GME Pros login. You're going to log in with your username and password. Username is your email address. Password you should have. If you don't have it, you're going to go click here, right? If you don't have login information, need help, go submit support ticket, and I'll gladly help you. If you have placed an order on our website, you can also get the support by clicking support. Go to your dashboard and click on orders on the left-hand side and start any orders. How do you start an order? Submit an intake form. All right, guys. Tomorrow, oh, I don't even know who we have. I'll pull it up real quick and I'll give you guys kind of a gist of who we got coming on this week. Wednesday, let's pull this up. I believe it's Wednesday. We got Mr. Julian Goldie coming on, but give me 1 second and I'll give this to you guys. We got a lot of new people coming on too, by the way. So me today, Julian Goldie is on Wednesday. Rise Southern is going to be going over on Tuesday. He's going over CTR tests and results. Wednesday is Julian Goldie. He's going over backlinking on autopilot. Wednesday, let me pull it up. Don't got Wednesday, is going to be Micah on rank and rent SEO, which you were just asking me about. And then we got Thursday, and then we got Friday. So we got a packed week. Friday is going to be Risk, and he is going to be talking about schema, my maps, ranking factors with GMB audits. And that is on the 17th. On the 16th is Micah on rank and rent. And then, let's see, give you a couple more. And then CTR testing on the 14th, Julian Goldie on the 15th, and myself was 2 days. So if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, just let me know. Once again, hopefully you've learned something from this. I will be putting this inside of GME Pros on Facebook. It will also be on YouTube by end of the week, and it will be in GME Pros, which I just showed you. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Daniel, I will see you in about 9 minutes. Who else was going to talk to us today, Carlos? Nobody. Just 100% we're done. We've already went over our time by 30 minutes. So I will talk to you guys soon, and this will be up on the back end shortly. So